If you're wondering how this place got so busy, blame the ether. Guardians, bearers, folks from all over have come, seeking refuge from the floods and the poor devils that drowned in them. For us who've lived here since back in Elwyn's day, it takes some getting used to. Sooner or later it's going to take some sorting out.
What are you after? There you go. Much obliged.
Just because the heavens have gone to wreck the ruin, it don't
Nearly
mean we have
done.
to. Now,
I've got
let's get this
greens
stone
of
set
all
out.
shapes and sizes. Colours too. Mostly green though.
Martha's bearers have been helping us keep the streets tidy. With all the traffic coming through here lately, we're glad of the help.
I expect you heard what happened to the noble quarter. The ether just started pouring from the walls. We were lucky it didn't catch us in our bunks, or we'd have all turned.
where next for the Guardians then? We were driven from Rosalith,
Then from the Lazarus. Probably be the rest next.
Want to know how to tell if the world's going to rack and ruin? Look for busy bladesmiths.
The world seems to be changing so fast lately I can hardly keep up. But what I do know is that there's more bad news than good. You can tell that just by looking at people's faces.
Doesn't still hurt, does it?
Oh, 1,000 Akashic jaws couldn't hurt me. I'm a son of Rosaria, after all. A born survivor.
The people of the rest may seem to be in high spirits, but give them a little wine, a little company, and the tears soon begin to flow. Don't keep your woes to yourself, soldier. Open those floodgates. You'll feel the better for it, believe you me.
Scouts have reported seeing more Akashic on Rhiannon's ride.
The road to Eastpool. I'll bolster the guard at the North Gate then.
Did you hear that Martha's been turning travellers away? Her beds are full of bearers. I was starting to warm to him, the way they help around the village and don't cause no trouble. But depriving Martha of paying customers. They're putting her on the road to ruin.
Look, Daddy. Shining so brightly. Isn't it pretty?
Yeah. Pretty bloomin' sinister.
Wonderful creatures, chocobos are. They're fast, strong, loyal, and best of all, they won't balk if you point them into the belly of a flood. Thick skins these birds have. Thicker than most, at least. Now, leave them in a flood too long and they'll turn, sure as eggs is eggs. But a quick dip in and out, and they're right as rain. Which is a boon to a trader like me. Reckon there's enough Akashic on the roads to worry about without this old girl turning.
Martha's got a big heart. It's a pity there's so many who are happy to take advantage of it.
Sorry, but if you're looking for a bed, there's none to be had right now. We're already sharing our cots with masterless bearers and those who fled the floods, and more seem to wash up at our door every day.
This is no more.
Ever trust an owl bearing good news, I say. But if it is true, we might finally have a chance to get our country back.
Ah, Clive. Just the man I was hoping to see.
Oh? And why is that?
You remember how some of Sir Wade's guardians took up residence here after the Akashic attacked? Well, now the rest have come to join him. Seems their barracks in the Lazarus have been lost to an ether flood. Now, I don't mind having a few more brave boys around to keep them animals at bay. I ain't daft after all. But we ain't got nowhere for 'em to bed down. Poor buggers are having to make do with haylofts and chocobo pens. I'd build 'em a new barracks here if I could. But where would I put 'em? There just ain't enough room up here on the rock. Which leaves us in a bit of a pickle. The people we're counting on to keep us safe are living like beggars.
I see.
And it ain't just that lot. There's bears to think about too. There's been more and more of them turning up lately, coming from all over looking for safe haven. But there's only so many we can shelter with the room we've got. We can't keep cramming more and more people into less and less space. What we need is a new home for our new arrivals. And that's what I was hoping you might help me with. If it ain't too much of a burden, of course.
It's no burden.
Thank you, Clive.
So, where were you thinking of making this new home?
Well, I reckon we could do a lot worse than Eastpool.
Eastpool. It's been a long time since I thought about that place.
It was a tragedy, what happened. And if any of us could have done anything to stop it, we would have. But what's done is done. And those who lived there wouldn't have wanted the village they loved to be left in ruins.
I suppose you're right.
The blight might be pressing in, but I reckon it's got a good few years left in it yet. There's just one problem. A band of cutthroats have made it their den, and they don't seem like they'll be moving on in a hurry. Nasty bastards they are too. I've lost some good men to their raids. Would have sent someone to clear 'em out sooner if my boys didn't already have their hands full fending off the Akashic. But now we've got a few more Guardians of the Flame to call on. I reckon it's time we made our move. What do you say? Fancy leading a raiding party?
I do. Eastpool was once home to people I loved. I won't have bandits sully those memories. I'll gladly drive them out of there.
And I know the men will gladly follow you. I've already shared a few thoughts with Sir Wade about how we might be able to win the place back. And I dare say he's got some ideas of his own too. Why don't you go and talk to him?
Of course.
Back to Eastpool, then.
Not just yet. Let's hear Wade's plan first.
Inn's full. Don't bother.
So, Wade, it's good to see you well.
And you, Lord Rossfield. And you.
I spoke with Martha. She tells me you have plans to free Eastpool and make it your own.
That's right, though it was mostly her idea. I rather fear my men have been treading on her toes somewhat since joining us, not to mention each other's. And then there are the bearers, men and women who found the courage to flee their masters and sought refuge here. We need somewhere to settle them, and I can think of worse places than Eastpool.
As can I. Which is why I agreed to help you win it back.
That's very kind of you. I'd be most grateful if you would. With you beside us, we shall soon send that rabble of rogues running for the hills.
So, what can you tell me?
That thankfully there aren't too many of them. Fewer than a dozen at our last count. And rather less, thankfully. The road that leads there will more than likely still be crawling with Akashic. A small force would suffice to clear the village, but if the Akashic were to follow them in, that force could end up trapped between a rock and a very hard place indeed.
I'll head into Eastpool and deal with the bandits. You and the Guardians can stay outside the village and fend off any Akashic who come too close. Make sure I'm not taken unawares.
I can't ask you to bear all that risk yourself, my lord.
The Akashic are the bigger risk. I can handle a few bandits.
Well, if you're sure, I shall summon my men at once.
Shall I wait for you here?
No need, my lord. You go on ahead. We'll be with you before long.
All right. I'll meet you at Eastpool then.
We shall see you there, and may victory await our coming.
Wondering how this place got so busy, blame the ether. Guardians, bearers, folks from all over have come, seeking refuge from the floods.
Quiet.
Who the hell are you? Kill them!
You will leave this place or face the consequences. That's the end of that, then. Or maybe not. What's that thing doing here? Doesn't matter. It goes too. Any more surprises? I'll take that as a no.
Bravo. A magnificent display, my lord.
You were watching? I thought you were keeping an eye out for a Kashik.
We were. Put down more than a few on the road, then arrived just in time to see you slay that... whatever it was.
Let's hope it was the last of its kind. Though I expect you and the Guardians will be up to the challenge should another appear.
I would hope so, my lord.
Your men will be bringing the bearers who'll be living here, I assume. It might be best to send word for them to come right away, before any other unsavory characters move in.
Of course. I'll send orders for them to depart immediately. Leave it with me, my lord.
Home. Without masters.
No. We're the masters now. Our lives are our own at last.
That's all of them, and not a single Akashek in sight. Now to begin the important work of rebuilding the place. It won't be easy, especially not after 5 years of beasts and blackguards having their wicked way with the place. The masonry might still be sturdy enough, but half the beams are rotted. Those that weren't lost in the fire or burned by the bandits, that is. It'll take a bit of elbow grease, but we'll see Eastpool rise again. Just you wait.
So wait. Lady Hannah is buried here. If you don't mind, I'd like Oscar to join the rebuilding efforts. He should be a part of this.
Of course. I couldn't agree more.
I'll let Martha know that everyone arrived safely. If you need anything more, you have only to send a Stolas.
And we will, my lord. Safe travels.
Eastpool lives again.
Let's go and tell Martha the good news.
First things first, we'll need to get a few of these roofs seen to. Wouldn't want to be caught in a storm without any shelter.
Well, there's a lot that needs doing, and no mistake. We'll have to fatten the bearers up a bit so they can pull their weight and actually make a difference.
So this is our new home, is it?
This was the Murdoch residence. We'll see your home restored, Lord Commander.
Ah, there you are. All went well then. Sir Wade told me you got rid of the bandits while his lot kept an eye out. Nicely done. And what's all this about some shape-shifting nightmare showing up? On second thoughts, don't tell me. It'll only give me nightmares of me own. What matters is you did it, and now we can build our new village.
I suppose it will be. What will you call it?
What else? Eastpool. Sir Wade said it best. There's plenty bad happened to that place, but that don't undo the good that happened there. No need to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Did Wade say that?
Well, something along those lines. Anyway, the poor souls might have made it to Eastpool, but their work ain't done yet. So the way I see it, neither is mine. If it's food or lumber or strong backs they need, the rest is ready to provide it.
Thank you, Martha.
No, thank you. You didn't have to help us.
I wanted to.
Can't say it wasn't a relief to see the better part of the Guardians finally taking their leave. We barely had room to breathe, what with them and us and all the others all crammed in together.
Are the bearers taking well to their new home, do you know? I sometimes worry how they'll manage without me to cook and clean for them.
That the Empress is no more.
Never trust an owl bearing good news, I say. If it is true.
I think we're all of us glad to see the bearers and the guardians find a home for themselves over in Eastpool. Not least because it feels like we finally got ours back. And for that, I can't thank you enough.
You want a bed for the night? You speak to Martha.
Look, Daddy. Shining so brightly. Isn't it pretty?
Yeah.
Whoever's idea it was to take those bearers away to Eastpool has my thanks. Who else would it have been but Martha? She always puts the good of the town first, that one.
The people of the rest may seem to be in high spirits. I give them a little wine, a little company.
The world seems to be changing so fast lately, I can hardly keep up.
I want to know how to tell if the world's going to rack and ruin.
Just because the heavens have gone to rack and ruin, it don't mean we have to. Now, let's get this stall set out.
Oh, this guy can fuck right off.